I still get the same buzz from finding the perfect sniper perch, zoning in on my target, waiting for that opportune moment, and turning an enemy's head into a fine paste. And Sniper Elite Resistance keeps that feeling going 20 years after the first foray into stealth sniping. But as I roll the game's credits, I'm left with an uncomfortable feeling, wondering if this is the end. Sniper Elite 5 introduced a few new features that shook up the formula enough. However, 2025's Sniper Elite feels more like a renaissance than a resistance, as rousing feelings of elation are becoming fleeting moments of fatigue and familiarity. And it just feels like we're swiftly approaching a pivotal moment in the series' history. Sniper Elite Resistance's story takes place alongside that of Sniper Elite 5, with new protagonist Harry Hawker providing a parallel adventure to regular hero Carl Fairburn. Harry sounds like a local comedian trying his best Jason Statham voice that he spent days practicing in the mirror. I appreciate the efforts of trying to elevate a new hero and give him some sort of personality, but he just comes off a bit contrived and at times annoying. Also, I think I speak for most when I say the World War dynamic has been played to death. Call of Duty Vanguard showed the populace doesn't really crave this time period anymore, and maybe we leave it as a bygone era for now. Resistance offers another fictional glimpse into the past as we go behind enemy lines to destroy the Nazis' Wunderwaffe super project. The narrative chugs along as you'd expect, with next to no twists or turns, and it's a fairly cut and dried tale. Cutscenes try to explore the emotional resonance of its main characters, but when they're given no backstory or time to develop, it's hard to become truly invested. It's a solid story, but I guarantee you'll have forgotten the bulk of the missions and monologues quicker than it takes to be seen, and your mission becomes an all-out Armageddon. The more you play, the more you realize a change in scenery would have been nice for Sniper Elite. You can only destroy so many German top-secret weapons and infiltrate underground bunkers before you feel like you're stuck in a loop. Modern shooters are oversaturated, but that's because World Wars have been recycled more than a glass bottle. After 20 years, I think it's worth a go, and it would be interesting to see if the formula can be adapted to a fresh setting. Sniper Elite's intricate level design and multi-layered maps are why fans and I keep coming back. I genuinely have few grievances with the game's missions, and each of the 7 main missions feel unique enough to warrant an hour or more of my time a pop. Speaking of pop, the moment a high-caliber bullet explodes out of my sniper rifle, I admit I do an internal giddy dance. Sniper Elite's trademark X-ray kill cams continue to thrill as I spill more blood in cinematic fashion. There are plenty of weapons and ammo types to keep the job fun, and each mission has several objectives to complete. Every map is a giant playground allowing you to replay the level in new ways, even if it does lack the imagination of some contemporaries like IO Interactive's Hitman. As you play, you'll find Resistance's lower difficulties demand respect as AI can track you from far away. You need to time your shots well, factor in velocity and distance, and think about your next move before you even consider the current one. One errant shot, or a successful one within sight and eyeline of others, and Harry suddenly lands in a starring role in The Great Escape, as half of the map converges on his position. The game encourages you to replay levels multiple times to seek out workbenches, upgrade your gear, and take in some French-inspired sightseeing by finding special propaganda posters throughout the levels to unlock bonus trials. Honestly, there is tons to do, even if I feel I've played this before, and longevity is the name of the game. Overall, guns feel punchy, melee kills feel stabby, and Resistance kills it in this regard, as Sniper Elite always does. A couple of eyebrows need to be raised, however, at having fewer overall missions than its predecessor, and one mission is half repeated. I often fell back on the same feeling playing Sniper Elite Resistance. This feels like a glorified DLC. Visually, Sniper Elite Resistance is the best looking entry yet. It's a bit rough around the edges with character models still looking janky and robotic, but architecturally and aesthetically speaking, it's an absolute treat. I truly feel immersed in my virtual world of France when I'm playing the game. Add to it the dynamism of planes flying overhead, guns going off in the distance, and the explosive syncopated interruptions caused by yourself, and the audio shines brighter than any invasive enemy spotlight. The world around you feels dangerous and terrifying. It's just sometimes hurt by the ineptitude of the enemy AI and world-building hiccups souring my experience. I'll preface that, however, with Rebellion has already addressed these issues, saying that they'll be addressed and improved in a title update prior to the game's full release. Enemies regularly got stuck, however, and Harry had trouble performing the simplest of actions such as walking up a flight of stairs. Bushes seemed to be made of concrete, making sneaking around needlessly tougher, and I had instances of being seen by the enemy through walls and other inanimate objects. Hopefully, the full release and any other post-launch updates will fix these problems. One of Sniper Elite Resistance's missions is called End of the Line. I found it fitting as I often flirted with that notion in my mind. The franchise has something that demands more games and maintains a pretty consistent fan base eating up everything Rebellion puts out. But I think that even hardened fans will have a hard time seeing the need for this sequel. Overall, the game's guaranteed to keep you entertained for a few hours, and it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't justify a full price release. Hopefully the developers understand this law of diminishing returns and take some time to reinvent the weapon wheel. For the latest exclusive gaming news, reviews, interviews, and more, subscribe to Insider Gaming on YouTube and visit our website, insider-gaming.com.